Hello, my faithful watchers, and I hope you're having a nice day. Okay, today we'll be talking about the good things and the bad things about OCs. Now, what is an OC? Basically, an OC is a fan-made character inserted into a certain media, such as Dragon Ball, Pokemon, Digimon, or just some type of media, and a certain person has made a character that they made by themselves to work with this kind of media. But the OCs are often used in sites such as fanfiction to write stories about them, or deviant art to make fan art about them. But let's talk about the good aspects and the bad aspects about OCs. Like I said, OCs stand for original character, but sometimes it can be hard to make an original character. You see, when making an OC, the writer or the artist or anyone needs to actually put some work into them. They need to think about what will their OC do, how will their OC evolve as a character, what lessons will they learn. You see, because you see in some fanfics, some people put their OCs as the main character, which is okay. However, that's also very risky. You see, when the writer or the viewer is looking at the OC, they need to think about the OC. Like, they have to connect with the original character since they're the main character. But sometimes it can be very hard to connect. Example of a bad OC. A bad OC is a character that's just pretty much the same as a regular character, but they can be very wooden. They don't really have that much character done to them. They're kind of just, there. Other than that, they don't really benefit the story at all. I mean, if you took them out, the story would just be the same. And sometimes, like, if you're making your own Spider-Man or Iron Man for OC, then can be very hard also, since the viewers the writers will probably want to have an OC superhero, a superhero that's not like the original character, that has their own positives and negatives. And also, what makes a good OC as a main character would be their flaws. I don't mean creation flaws, I mean story flaws. For example, take Iron Man, who has his drinking problem, Superman, who has his kryptonite, or Batman, who wet himself on his first mission. Granted, they may be flaws, however, it benefits the character because the audience could relate to them better. Because the audience wants, like, take Spider-Man. He was a nerd. He was a nerd kid. He wasn't rich like Bruce Wayne or came from an alien planet like Clark Kent. No, he was an average kid, and that's what made him a popular superhero, because people could connect to him better. With an OC, if you put too many too many good points, like they're invincible to metal, they can't be beat, they can beat probably the hardest characters, then people aren't going to really get into those characters, because with so many positives, they just feel too artificial. I mean, where's the character? They will just feel too wooden. Now, in some fanfiction, the OC will just be a side character. I often wondered sometimes why people do it, like keep the story exactly the same and just have the OC as a secondary main character. When I really thought about it, I think I understood why. It's because they respect the story, they respect the characters, but at the same time, they want to be a part of the story. The writer wants to be a part of that story, but because they want to be with the characters, and the only way to do it is by having the OC, because the OC, in some ways, is like a translation of the person onto the words. But at the same time, this can be hard because at sometimes the OC can have their own character, but at sometimes they're too much of a translation of the main writer. Since sometimes the OC will just act as commentary, they won't have anything to do with the character or anything like that or the story. And that can be very bad since people won't really pay any attention to the OC. They'll just treat them like a bland character or won't take any really notice of them. However, let's stop being negative about OCs and we'll see the good parts about OCs. There have been a lot of famous OCs such as Ixgor from Dragon Ball AF and Snowdrop from My Little Pony. Both OCs and both have left their marks on the fandoms. These characters are very good and people still like them, and they're good representative of an OC. They're realistic. Their creators have given them their flaws and their positives, which makes the fandom interested in them. So you have to, when you're creating OC, think about what will make them a proper character. And I don't mean just the positives. Think about the negatives. Think about the flaws. Think about their weaknesses. But also develop their character properly. Like if you pair them with a character already in the media, think about how they should interact with that character. Like how to build their relationship up. Because that's an important factor. Try to and see how they interact with other characters. Because if you don't do that, then your OC won't really be taken seriously and people will just get bored with it. Think about how to use your characters, develop them well, think about how they will benefit the story, and just try to design them correctly, and think about how they will impact the rest of the fandom. I'm the Nerd King and I'll see you later.